the NFL slate, and we're going to start here. Eagles at Commanders. The Commanders are 7-point underdogs at home, 43.5 the over-under. This is a game that's interesting. Obviously, the Eagles have had a little bit of a bumpier road. Jalen Hurts has had a bumpier road as of last season, and he's kind of being talked about as if, is he falling down to earth? Is he not as good as we thought? Was he just having an outlier year last year? Whatever it is, I mean, it's been interesting to monitor, and now they're going to go ahead and they're favored by 7 points going on the road to Washington. What do you think, Ben? Who do you like in this game, and what do you think about the Eagles?
Yeah, I've been saying it all year. I really don't think the Eagles have been playing well at all, especially when compared to last year. But with that said, I'm going to take them to win this week, even though I think Jalen and that entire offense have struggled quite a bit. They've struggled immensely at times, honestly. But then again, they just keep finding ways to win. One thing I think is interesting about this game is that when they played earlier in the year, they went to fucking overtime. So I think that's something that you need to monitor as well. However, I think the Eagles are going to get it done. They're a better team. They need to find a way to get going in the right direction, which I think can be really hard to do when, in terms of the standings and your record, you're being rewarded for playing from realistically what is the wrong way. It's not the way that they want to be playing, that they want to be winning. Given how hard it is to win in the NFL, they're not playing to their ability, which we've been saying this too, shows how good they are and how good they can be once they get going. But I'm going to go with them to win this week, and for their sake, hopefully it's a start of stepping in the right direction for them.
Yeah, and you said that really nicely. They've been a different team from last year, but they've showed at parts of the season, at points of games in specific, that maybe they're back. It hasn't really been a full season long thing though just yet for them, where it's been consistent, and yet they're back fully, they're dominating, and we're waiting on that to happen, if it will happen this year. So that's a good point you made there. One thing I will say is the Commanders always play the Eagles very tough. They do. Last year, I think the only bad loss the Eagles had all year was the Commanders.
Yep.
They really played terrible in that game, and I think Commanders are kind of just a team that's just going to play them tough. +7 is an interesting bet. The one thing that I'd be a little bit worried about is that now you're getting Lane Johnson off of, I believe, 2 weeks after that injury, even though he did play last week. He's going to be healthier most likely unless he re-injured something, but that is not something that I think happened. And then, Jalen Carter is going to be a little bit more rested. This pass rush is going to get after the Commanders. Sam Howell is getting sacked like nobody else in the league.
Right.
And it's going to be an interesting thing to see, what is going to happen with this Commanders team if they can't protect Sam Howell, if they can't score points. I mean, you also what Jonathan Allen said, you got guys like Montez Sweat, and you got guys like Chase Young that might be on the trade block. So is this a Commanders team that's just going to phone it in this year and start selling at the deadline?
I mean, hey, it's really starting to look that way, right? And with, honestly, their second biggest rival, I'd say Cowboys. Cowboys are number one for them, right? Biggest rival. Yeah. But I'd say the Eagles, obviously, or the Giants are right there as well. And if this team just comes in, a team that, as you just said, has played you well, similarly to how the Dolphins used to play the Pats well, and how the Chargers used to play not the Colts, the Broncos well.
Yeah.
If you get steamrolled by them, with them coming to your building where you have routinely played this team very well, like you just said, and you just get rolled, definitely time to sell at the deadline. Get rid of some of your more valuable trade pieces and see what you can build from there.
Yeah, no, completely agree on that. Now, we're going to go into